Jarod Cannonier and Kelvin Gastelum going to go at it at the UFC Fight Night. It's a wicked fight for this middleweight division here. So we've got Kelvin Gastelum, who's just coming off a decision loss to Robert Whittaker, where, let's face it, he got absolutely picked apart. He didn't win a round. He got absolutely mauled by Robert. Before that, he had a very impressive win over a not very high-ranked opponent, but still a dangerous wrestler, and out-wrestled him in Ian Heinisch. It was a very impressive win for Kelvin, but I'm not sure how I feel about it still, because before that, he lost to Darren Till, and I know it said split decision. Darren picked him apart. He didn't land a glove on Darren the whole fight. He lost to Jack Hermansson. Again, no shame, but he's known as the 10th Planet leg lock submission guy. Gets leg locked by Jack Hermansson, and losing to Israel Adesanya in that really close fight was that, I don't really count that. But he's got 4 losses in the last 5 fights. Whereas you go to Jarod Cannonier, he's got 2 losses in his last 5 fights, and he's beaten the guys, or one of the guys anyway, that Kelvin fouled to, which was Jack Hermansson. He also has something in common with Kelvin, which is his last outing is lost to Robert Whittaker. Shows how bloody good Robert Whittaker is. Man, I really hope Robert and Israel get it on quickly, and it's going to be a wicked fight again for that. But how's Jarod going to line up against Kelvin? Personally, I think Jarod is gonna dismantle Kelvin pretty easily. And I say that, he used to be a heavyweight, Kelvin used to be a welterweight. Now, the size difference in this fight is going to be monstrous. It's going to be big. Kelvin, to me, is still a welterweight that is so lazy to make the weight. Now, he might be a tweener, as they're called, where he needs like the 175 division or the 178 or whatever it would be, whatever the boxing version is. Their weight classes are already made, the UFC just don't implement them. And he's one of the fighters that maybe falls short, but he's also extremely non-disciplined with the diet compared to a lot of the fighters at 170. You can't tell me that Kamaru Usman walks around lighter than Kelvin Gastelum. There's no chance. But look at the discipline levels and look what it could accomplish. Kelvin is not undersized at welterweight. Some welterweights are a bit bigger than him, but at middleweight he's the smallest everywhere. And you might say, but he's not cutting weight, so he might feel better. He might all be this, right? And he's put on some very competitive fights and won a few of them for sure. But he's not going to be the champion when he's so undersized against these absolute monsters that aren't necessarily too big for the weight class either. They're not cutting crazy weight. Jarod Cannonier isn't cutting from the heavyweight weight class anymore. He lost the weight, he fixed his body, he stopped being lazy, and look what it got him. It got him into the top 5 spot of a division, and he's a dangerous gorilla man. He didn't just beat Jack Hermansson, Anderson Silva and David Branch. He finished them all. That's the difference between Kelvin right now and Jarod Cannonier. I think Kelvin's going to have his work cut out for him. I don't see him getting into the range of Cannonier. I think if he's going to get close to him, that's the way to win. Getting on the outside, we know how good Cannonier's leg kicks are. We definitely know. Finished Anderson Silva with leg kicks. It's going to be sticking on the outside for Cannonier, using those explosive power shots like the leg kicks, like just starting with a jab. His jab is going to be so much longer and so much more physical, more powerful, more dangerous, more impactful to Kelvin than Kelvin's going to be able to do to him. Kelvin's going to have to really get inside, land the combinations. He can't rely on one shot. If he can roll to the ground and work a jiu-jitsu game, if he can get him to the ground, if he can rock him, if he can press him against the cage, maybe he can out-cardio him. I'm not sure Kelvin's cardio is greater than Jarod's. Stylistically, I think this is a win for Jarod no matter where the fight goes. On the ground, I think he's strong enough and he's got the technique good enough to just keep Kelvin, that is, in a position like a guard or a half guard and just rain down ground and pound. If it's against the cage, he's got the technique and the strength and the size to just flip him round, keep the 50-50 position, back it off, land a couple strikes, go back in if he needs. It is what it is. What do you guys reckon for this one? It's a tricky fight to call for this, and it's a hard one to break down for me because I'm not sure why it's a good matchup for Kelvin at all. I'm going to go Cannonier. I'm going to go decision. I think Kelvin can last the rounds. I just don't think Kelvin can implement the damage enough. I think it's going to go a similar way to the way Robert Whittaker fought him. I think Robert was smart. I think Cannonier's got the blueprint. I think there's enough people that have beaten Gastelum to let him know how to beat him. Jarod's got all the design. If he fails to beat him here, Jarod is in trouble. because I don't think Kelvin's necessarily the right man for middleweight. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Who do you reckon for this one? Do you reckon Jarod can... Do you agree with me? Do you reckon he's going to pretty much flawlessly take him apart in this fight? Or do you think Kelvin has a way that I haven't thought of, or that I'm not aware of, that he can get into this? Because I don't think it's with range, I don't think it's with cardio, I don't think he's not going to outpoint him, and I don't think he's got the power or the surprise attack to kind of get in there and Mike Tyson it. I really don't. He's got very good boxing, he's got incredible jiu-jitsu, he's got very good wrestling. But Cannonier is also all those things, plus the size, plus the power, and he's been in there and finished really good top guys recently. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Like the video if you have enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.